guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an absolutely gorgeous day. So today I'm going to be filming one of the first installments of a series that I'm hoping to do called Self-Care is Sacred. And this series is all going to be about self-love, how to find self-love, how to attain self-love, how to improve your life if you already love yourself, and how to really unearth those insecurities and how to actually combat and tackle them. What has helped me along my self-love journey, what has helped me really unearth my shadow side, my insecurities, my trauma, and hopefully my words will resonate with some of you. We live in a society that has such an extremely damaging culture in regards to self-image. We are absolutely bombarded with images of the ideal beauty type, with images, with ideas about how we should be, how we should act, how we should feel, how we should love. And what people a lot of the time don't realize is that every single person is fucking unique and every single person is different. And I know some of you are probably thinking, fucking hell, here it's just another skinny, pretty white girl telling me how to love myself and how to achieve self-love. But that's not the point of these videos, I guess. Today's episode is all going to be about removing toxicity in your life. It is all going to be about recognizing your own issues that you need to fix and not ignoring those. Removing self-critical behaviors and the impact of social media. One common misconception about self-love is that it's all about being confident and happy and positive all the time, and honestly that's complete bullshit. I consider myself someone who loves myself, loves all parts of myself, and yet there are still always areas that I can improve on. This is a journey, it is not a destination. A very important aspect of self-care and self-love is recognizing the way that you treat others. So a lot of the time when we ourselves are insecure, that boils up and kind of, you know, makes a stew inside of us that just spills out onto the people around us. Our energy is like a spiral. It spirals outwards into all the people that we encounter, people on the street, our closest friends, our relatives, and then they pass it on to other people around them. It's like this whole massive spectrum that just gets projected outwards everywhere. And when we are insecure, we tend to reflect that negativity onto other people, sometimes without even realizing. One of the most important things is to, of course, recognize and acknowledge the way that you treat other people, be it your friends, be it your family. And this is probably one of the most difficult aspects of self-love, because while you're trying to accept yourself and love yourself, you're also being really self-critical, because you're trying to recognize behaviors that might offend or hurt people around you. Ultimately, self-love isn't just about the way that you treat yourself, it's about the way that you treat every single particle that's around you. It's about the way that you treat animals and people and situations. Self-care is not just happiness and sunshine and rainbows and smiling at everyone down the street. There's a lot of difficult shadow work that needs to be done. I really hear a lot of people talking about removing toxic friends, and this is something that I wanted to talk about really quickly, because I feel like in some cases the removal of toxic friends has become this excuse to just cut people out of your life when they're not serving your ego, when they're not pleasing you, and that to me is a little unfair. Of course, I think that removing toxic people in your life is very, very important. I have a few examples in my life of people that I am no longer friends with that really weighed me down a lot and really stopped me from achieving what I wanted to achieve. If your friends will tell you that you look fat, or that you look ugly, or that you don't look as good as them, are they really your friends? If your friends are constantly putting down other people and are constantly judging other people and bitching about people behind their back, are they really your friend? What are they saying about you? You know, what kind of energy is that bringing into your life? What kind of purpose is that serving you? So there's a lot of reflection that goes on in this. You have to really reflect on the way that people impact your life, recognize how you feel, and don't ignore it. Don't try and push those feelings down, because they will only come back 10 times stronger the next time that they resurface. So in saying that you need to remove toxic people in your life, there are also toxic parts of yourself that you need to work on removing. So toxic behaviors can be anything from self-critical behavior, putting yourself down, whether it be internally or verbally. They can be comparing yourself to other people and seeking validation through the approval of other people. So these kind of toxic behaviors that you inflict on yourself often go under the radar, and we don't even realize that we're doing it until we stop. So just as an example, when I was younger, I used to kind of really put myself down a lot. I used to say that I was ugly, that I was too thin, that no boys would ever like me, like all this bullshit. And I didn't even realize I was talking about myself in that way until I kind of stopped. Like, you wouldn't talk about your best friend in that way, so why are you talking about yourself in that way? You're not ugly, you're not anything less than beautiful and special and precious and worthy of a beautiful existence. You're nothing less than that. And I hope you hear that from my heart to yours, because it is the most honest thing I will ever say. Removing these critical behaviors can be a little bit difficult, because for a lot of the time they are out of habit, and habits are hard to break. But in order to break these habits, you need to at first acknowledge that they are there. Don't ignore it, don't pretend you're not doing this. If you have ever talked down to yourself, you might be doing it more than you think. So once you acknowledge that they are there, that's the first step, and then all of the steps after that are actually working towards removing them and replacing them with positive affirmations. And it sounds a little corny, but if you wake up first thing in the morning, you say, "It's a great fucking day to be alive." Watch the smile that it puts on your face. Watch how much more you appreciate every little thing that is coming to you. But I'll talk more about gratitude in a different episode. Oh, it's raining. It's so beautiful. I hope you can hear it. I love the sound of rain. Say, "I love myself." Say, "I feel empowered." Say, "I am worthy." Say, "I am beautiful," and say, "I am kind, caring, smart, and loved." Because without even realizing it, words are like spells. You know, words create your reality because they tell the universe, they tell your body, they tell your mind what to think. Again, you know, they kind of manipulate and morph your perception of things. So if you're saying that you are ugly, you're going to start thinking that you're ugly. And if you say you are beautiful, you're going to start thinking that you're beautiful. We are taught from such a young age to compare ourselves to other people. We're taught to succeed by being better than other people, not to succeed by being the best version of ourselves. We are, from the get-go, competing with marks, competing with grades, competing with achievements, and even without realizing it, a lot of the time our parents are pinning us against other people's children. What you have to kind of do is break that down, and it is so difficult to do, but I catch myself even sometimes still looking at someone and a pang of jealousy hits me. I'm like, wow, they're so beautiful. And then I stop myself and I'm just like, why? You know, I am too, in my own little way. And you may think that your way of being beautiful and your way of existing is less important than someone else's or less worthy than someone else's, but no, it's not true. We are all so equal on this planet, you know, so equal. Your perception is what shapes your reality, and when you change your perception, you in turn change your reality. I just want to let you all know that it is not going to be an easy task. You know, depending on how insecure you may be, it is not going to be an easy task. It's still not an easy task for me to this day. It is always a healing process, healing journey. You have not failed if you don't love yourself in like 20 days time. You've never failed. When you seek validation, you're not gaining that approval from within yourself, you're gaining that approval from an external factor. Why the fuck? Like, if they do not accept you and love you for who you are, they're not worthy of being in your life anyways. And that's not a reflection on you, that's not a reflection on your personality, that's not saying that you're too ugly or you're not cool enough to be friends with them. That's just saying that, you know what, they don't fuck with your energy, you don't fuck with theirs. Some people just don't click, and that's human nature. And you can't have that heavily sitting on you your whole life. Validation can also be through the form of approval from friends, approval from family, wanting people to like you and accept you, and trying so desperately hard to change yourself and morph yourself to fit other people's expectations of you. You do not need to be anyone less than who you are now. You do not need to be anyone more than who you are now. All you need to be is who you are now, and then you are being the exact person that you are supposed to be. And although we talk about healing and changing that, if you accept and forgive yourself for being who you are and for thinking the way that you think today, that is something that really catapults you on your self-love journey. Is self-forgiveness and self-acceptance. And seeking validation through other people is all good and well, and it makes you feel great about yourself when you're validated. But as soon as you get one hate comment, or as soon as you get one tiny thing that people point out that's wrong with you, it all comes crashing down. It's a castle built on eggshells. Not stable. It's not a stable way to build up your security, and it's not a stable way to continue on your self-love journey. It's not a stable way to continue living your life, because you will always... This is the thing about validation. There will never be enough of it. The next part that I want to just quickly touch on is social media. This is a relatively new issue, but it is talked about a lot. I'm sure you've heard people talking about how damaging it can be. Problem with social media is not social media itself, it's the way that you use it. If you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is scroll through Instagram, and all you follow is girls in bikinis and girls promoting laxative teas and diet things, is that really what you want to be seeing, you know, to start your day? Is that really what you want to be consuming yourself with? Because whether you realize it or not, social media does control you. It controls me, it controls the next person, because it pulls you in. And that's the beauty of it, is that it pulls you in by feeding that insecurity in you, within you. And I talked before about removing toxic people from your life. This definitely, maybe even more so than people in your life, applies to social media, because we spend so much time every single day, every single week, scrolling through Instagram, going on YouTube, seeing what all these like cool influencers are doing, you know, but they actually have a very big impact on the way that you view yourself, you know? And I want you guys to really focus on how these accounts make you feel. This applies to me as well. If I am not serving you in a good way, if I am not someone that you can look up to, or someone that makes you feel better about yourself, unsubscribe, unfollow me. I'm not going to be offended. Regardless of whether they're just someone in your life or a big influencer, you need to be really careful with the way that you're using social media and how you follow other people. And this is something that's been really kind of on my mind a lot recently, because, I mean, as much as I want to believe that everyone's using social media for what I believe to be the right reasons, there are a lot of people that don't, you know, and social media has a big tendency to be very fake. Very fake. And I really recommend social media breaks. I take them sometimes. They're not very long, because it is kind of like my job and, you know, all this stuff, but I do take them. And it's extremely important to just completely switch off. Like, put your phone somewhere else, go out into nature, reconnect with Gaia, reconnect and realign yourself. You just have to be careful, and you just have to be able to recognize when someone is not serving your high purpose or making you feel better about yourself, and all they're doing is making you feel worse. Again, this is not a reflection on them, because they're probably just doing their own thing and not really realizing that, you know, you're being hurt by this. It is a reflection on yourself. But if for now they are feeding your insecurities, cut them out. And then maybe when you're feeling a little more secure, you can follow them back later. So that is all I want to talk about for this first episode of Self-Care is Sacred. I hope that it's been really beneficial for you guys to have heard this. I really hope that it struck a chord with you, and I really hope that you take what I've said on board, because even if it doesn't help you, it is something that has really helped me. And self-care and self-love is so sacred and so fundamental to our existence here. So yeah, I'm looking forward to filming the next episodes with you. I might feel more like today because I'm in a really like productive mood, but I hope you have a gorgeous, gorgeous day. Be grateful for me. Much love. I'll see you next time.